Goodbye. Well, you better pick your seat while you can. Pick up the seat there.
How are you?
Which one would that be, Will?
Probably that one over there.
Try this one here?
No, yeah, that. I'm gonna talk to him.
Never know.
One moment, I wish.
Can you turn that on for me when it's time?
What's that?
Can you start mine for me when it's time?
You can sit there.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Dan House.
Yes.
Jeff Chorpenning.
Here.
Dan Van Buren.
Yeah.
Read the minutes from the last regular meeting. Board opened at 7 p.m. Guest speaker John Parker, insurance agent, was present to discuss property insurance and answer any questions the trustees had. The trustees looked over the equipment list and the driver's list, and we updated both. Mr. Parker also had a report from Travis Thompson. He inspected the playground and had the following concerns. The swing sets are residential swings and should be replaced. The seesaw needs some type of shock absorber under each end. The swing brackets were installed using standard bolts instead of carriage bolts. Matt Powell was present to discuss some issues he has with his property in Brownsville. He is planning to build a drive-through and gas station on the corner of State Route 40 and State Route 668. He would like to have Red Maple Street abandoned and would like permission to put a septic line beside Bowling Green Street. After some discussion, Trustee Hutt made a motion to allow Mr. Powell to run a sewage line under or along Bowling Green Street, a minimum of 3 feet down and up to a 2-inch line. Motion seconded by Trustee Van Buren. Roll call. All in favor. Trustee Chorpenning moved to amend the motion that the trustees' approval be contingent on the health department approval. Motion seconded by Hutt. Roll call, all in favor. Under correspondence, Trustee Chorpenning received Resolution 68271 from the Commissioners about Snedden Road. Resolution states the extension will be maintained by the Township. He also went to the Licking County Advisory Committee meeting and asked the fiscal officer about the Hamilton Parker Company application. She said she had not received it. Trustee Chorpenning also had the bill from the Rocket Enterprises for the flagpole. And he also read Will Kern's letter from the last meeting, full letter on record with the fiscal officer. Under safety, Trustee Chorpenning asked about the keys. He said he came down one day and everything was open. Trustee Van Buren said he gave keys to Don Watkins and Jack Hedges. Park Committee, Barb Wiseman turned in money collected since the last meeting. Nicole Youngkins read minutes from the last meeting. They have purchased the flagpole and will be installed by Rocket Enterprises. Some of the members of the Park Committee feel the merry-go-round should be removed from the playground because of safety concerns. Trustee Hutt feels it isn't unsafe and is the most popular piece of equipment on the playground. Board members said they will be looking into replacing it with another merry-go-round or something similar. Unfinished business, there's nothing new on the trash mandate for the drug testing. A resident did mention that it's possible to be put in a pool with other members of, like Frank Gates or other such companies for drug testing. Trustee Chorpenning thanked PAC 33 for litter cleanup on Hunt Hills Road. Trustees will hold a meeting on May 8th to open bids and possibly award bid. Trustee Chorpenning made a motion to hold meeting on the 8th for the purpose of opening and possibly rewarding road bid. Trustee Hub seconded the motion. All in favor, Trustee Van Buren will be the contact person. Trustee Chorpenning made a motion to accept the revised video recording resolution. There was no second to the motion. Trustee Hub made a motion to remove this item from the agenda. Trustee Van Buren seconded the motion. New business community service with the inmates from county jail was canceled by the county. They were scheduled for May. Trustee Hub made a motion to purchase 3 new t-shirts for each employee and trustee. Motion seconded by Trustee Van Buren. All in favor. Trustee Hub made a motion to pay bills, sign purchase orders, and likeness certificates and bank statement. Trustee Van Buren seconded the motion. Under public comment, Mr. Clippinger said that zoning inspector needs to figure out how to get the date on the photo she is taking. Trustee Hub said that they have looked at the camera and cannot figure out how to fix it. He also feels that she should have magnets on the side of her car. Nicole Youngkin said she thinks something needs to be done about the merry-go-round because someone has been hurt on it. Trustee Chorpenning made a motion to adjourn the meeting, seconded by Van Buren. With business complete, the board adjourned at 9:02. Is there any additions or corrections? We had a special meeting on May 8th at 6:30. Purpose of the meeting was to open the 2012 road bids and possibly award the bid. Visitors: Steve Murphy, Ryan Packer, Will Kern, Barb Slick, Tim Tackett, Don Tackett, Frank Williams. Trustees received 2 bids. One bid was Smalls Asphalt Paving and one was from Shelley Company. Bids are for the 2012 roads only. Bid from last year still stands and will be completed by Smalls Asphalt. Roads on the 2011 bid are Cherry Hill, Matt, part of Open Woods, and part of Rankin. Engineer's estimate for the 2012 road bid is $113,321.75. Smalls' total bid was $126,908.35. Shelley's bid was $131,931.25. Trustees will have to decide which roads to remove from the list since the amount they have to spend on roads for 2012 is $73,000. Trustees discussed which roads to remove. Trustee Chorpenning made a motion to accept the lowest bid on Rankin, all of Mount Hope, all of Cooprider, and $10,000 on spot patching. There was no second to the motion. Trustee Hutt made a motion to table this discussion until the next meeting. Trustee Chorpenning seconded the motion. All in favor. Trustee Chorpenning made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Trustee Hutt seconded the motion. With business complete, the board adjourned at 7:08 p.m. Was there any additions or corrections? We also had a junk car meeting on May 8th. The board opened the meeting at 7:10 p.m. All trustees and fiscal officer were present. The zoning inspector presented the junk car case. The tacket's on 12077 Monroe Hill Road. The residents have 2 vehicles that need to be taken care of, 1 white truck and 1 red truck. Residents called zoning inspector on May 5th, letting her know that they were working on the white truck, trying to get it moved. The orange truck is a collector's vehicle and are also trying to move it, but in the rain, they haven't been able to. Trustee Chorpenning moved there be no further action taken. There was no second. Trustee Hutt asked what the plans were for the vehicles. Residents plan to move or cover them. Mr. Tackett asked when the junk car policy took effect. Zoning inspector stated in 1994. Trustee Chorpenning stated it started last year. Trustee Hutt said that the township is going by the county guidelines. Mr. Tackett said the white truck is for farm use, that it does run, and they use it to haul firewood. They just always park it in the same place. The red one is a restoration project that hasn't been worked on in a while. They plan to try to sell the red one. Trustee Chorpenning moved to discontinue junk car. There was no second to the motion. Zoning inspector states she does not want to be harassed by Trustee Chorpenning anymore, and if it continues, the board will need to find someone else to take care of the junk car cases. Trustee Chorpenning moved to discontinue junk cars. No second to the motion. Trustee Hutt made a motion to give the residents 90 days to remedy the red vehicles. Motion seconded by Van Buren. Roll call, Chorpenning abstain. Van Buren, yes. Huff, yes. Zoning inspector asked again if the trustees are going to have somebody else do the junk car job because she feels she is continuously harassed by Trustee Chorpenning and doesn't want to have to deal with him anymore. Trustee Huff said she is doing her job and they don't need to have anyone else do it. Trustee Chorpenning moved to discontinue junk cars. No second to the motion. Mr. Clippinger feels the zoning inspector should make sure the vehicle meets all the criteria of the junk car before it is turned over to the trustees. Even though he explained that his vehicles are not junk, he feels it is still on his record. Trustee Huff says the junk car cases will not go any further than the township unless the residents don't remedy the situation. He also questions why she didn't have a written complaint. Trustee Huff said the complaint does not have to be in writing. He's concerned that she will turn him in again for the same vehicles just because he doesn't use the vehicles very much. He would also like to know if the township pays for her cell phone, why can't she call the resident and ask about the vehicle? Trustee Huff said that those aren't guidelines. Mark Burgess feels they should cancel the program until better guidelines can be established. Will Kern feels the trustees should be helping residents. Most of the issues could be resolved before it makes it to a junk car meeting. Trustee Van Buren made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion seconded by Huff. With business complete, the board adjourned at 7:45 p.m. Are there any additions or corrections?
We have a guest speaker. Correspondence.
Back to Hamilton Parker yet.
No. I sent the application in and I haven't heard anything back from them.
I've got one item that is really more unfinished business than it is correspondence, so
We can wait till we get on that.
the topic is Mr. Powell's request under ORC 5553.045 on the petition for vacating. So, like I said, it probably should go under unfinished business.
I do. So Licking County River Roundup, cleaning up local waterways. If you would like more information, I have a couple of pamphlets up here if you want to look at those. Came from the soil and water. I did receive this in the mail. It's just a letter. It says, many residents of Bowling Green Township would like to know the oath the trustees have taken. We would like it read aloud for the record at a township meeting. Thanks, a concerned citizen. So, with that. Thomas, that's your those. Did you guys receive from the Licking County Planning Department about a demolition grant? Did you guys, I don't know if they sent this to everybody or not. Attorney General's, it's called Moving Ohio Forward Demolition Grant Project. Basically, they're trying to demolish vacant, abandoned properties in Licking County. If we feel that we have one, they need pictures and addresses and property owner's information. And the grant application deadline is June 30th. They said they need the pictures and addresses by May 30th to attach to the grant application, which is tomorrow. So I don't know if we have, can't even think of any since the post office is gone now. There's a newsletter out now. Did you all receive the invitation the ladies' night?
Who's that?
June 9th, Saturday. Did you not get one? I'm just gonna do now, that we do have a levy that is expiring. Fire levy, one of the three that we have.
Need a motion for that?
Yes, if we'd like to, put the levy back on the ballot, we would need to have a motion and then I'll get paperwork started.
I'll make a motion to put the ballot back on, or let me back on.
Is there a second?
I'll second to discuss. Do you have the verbiage for that?
Not yet, that's just a paper reminding us that it's,
So the deadline we have to have it.
it seems like there's two sets of paperwork that we have to do and they both need to be done. It seems like it's the middle of August or the end of August, somewhere in there.
Is sufficient
Oh,
for next.
August 7th, August 8th.
Into the election dates.
Yeah.
I move to put that in the agenda for next month's meeting.
To discuss it or to have the paperwork?
We'll have the paperwork so we can read it, you know.
Listen back to Dan's motion.
I move to put it on the agenda for next month.
Okay, Dan made a motion to put the fire levy back on the ballot. Jeff seconded the motion. Do roll call. Jeff?
I made a motion to discuss, to vote on.
You already seconded the first one.
Okay, is there a second to the motion that Dan wanted to put the fire levy back on the ballot?
Yes, Jeff seconded that.
Second
We're in
motion
discussion.
to discuss it. That's how it works. The second allows us to discuss it, it's not an action.
Discuss it. Okay, make, or take a vote on it, see if it passes.
I moved to put it on the agenda, it wasn't second. That's what we're doing.
You just seconded it, Jeff. You made a motion to put it back on the ballot. You seconded it, so it would go to discussion. It went to discussion, correct? Is that correct?
I have no further discussion on,
I'm asking you a question, is that correct? Did you make a motion so it went to discussion? Yes, and we just discussed it. So now we need to go to vote to see if it passes. If it doesn't pass, then you can make a motion.
you're the president, you run the meeting.
Yes, you need to take a roll call vote, please.
Jeff?
We're voting for what exactly? Please repeat the motion that I'm voting on now.
Dan made a motion to put the fire levy back on the ballot. And you seconded that motion for discussion. So that is the motion that we are voting on.
I'll abstain.
Dan?
We don't have all the information read in the
Jeff?
record, the amounts or anything.
We can't have those until we put it in motion. We have to get a certificate from the auditor, and at that point, if you don't like the numbers, we can vote against it.
That's why I moved to put it on next month's.
Right, so you can make a motion. After we vote on this, you can make a motion
that we just table till next meeting to have all the facts.
Ben?
No.
Okay.
I don't
Now,
want to make the motions.
The motion did carry, right?
we did not get two yeses. Jeff, you made a motion to put it on the agenda. Do you still want to make that motion?
Or did?
Is there a
Can't
second to the
second
motion?
Yes.
Roll call. Jeff,
Yes.
to put the motion, put it on the agenda. Dan,
Yeah.
Ben,
Yes.
You have all the paperwork next to you.
I can't have all of the paperwork. The first step I should have. I can't have those steps because the first step has to be completed before we can do the second step. We have to pass a resolution before we can do the second step. I got a letter from the health department for our semi-public water. Just need a signature from the president. That's for the community program. We also have a letter from the bank that we all, it's for, to have our signatures on file, which I already turned a letter in, but I guess they want it on their form. So just beside your name, I need your signature. On that side.
For signature card.
Yeah.
Who's this for? For that, so,
So just for the permit.
I see.
But there's no, they don't charge us.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Another thing I got in correspondence was, Licking Township was here several months ago with the fire, representative fire department. They applied for, wanted us to help them apply for a grant. They serve multiple townships, jurisdictions. They did that, they applied for a grant, they received $10,000 to buy SCBA's, which is the air packs that they wear. So that has been awarded to them. So we just need to sign off on that, and so they're gonna receive that money, nothing comes out of our pocket or anything like that. That's all I have. You have anything yet? Yeah, Jeff, you have anything? Reports, safety, safety. Jeff, you have anything?
Well, there's things that came up under the safety for the park, related things under risk management.
We're working on addressing, I know, several of those, so.
Other than that, probably that's what I've got to say.
Fire company, I don't have anything. Good. Zoning,
Zoning, we did one permit this month, May 24th, for Molly Stiles at 9980 Brownsville Road. She's putting up a full barn for personal use.
under zoning, there was a question brought up at the last meeting. If a resident asked if I would ask the zoning inspector if she still had the magnetic signs for the side of her car. I did ask her, and yes, I still have them.
I have to let you know, the signs do not fit on the side of my car. They fit on the hood.
Okay. But you still have them, correct?
Yes, I do.
Zoning board. Zoning appeals. Comprehensive plan.
Now, we did have a meeting with our new representative. We expect either the July or August meeting to have everything to the trustees. Oh, and we do need a couple more members for our board. We're finishing up, but we need to meet once a year. And so we need a couple more members.
For the comprehensive plan.
We have meeting minutes for when you met. Who's the person in the county now?
Jeanette. DeRena. Jeanette DeRena. She's new in
Is that it, the comprehensive? Park committee?
The meeting started at 7 PM on May 15, 2012, underneath the shelter building due to power outages. And Cole Youngkins for the meeting minutes. Nancy Chorpenning motion to accept the meeting minutes. Robin Farmer seconded it. Motion passed. Barb Weisman suggested that there be a cutoff date to purchase bricks this year, so they are installed before the ground freezes. She suggested the date to be July 21st, so the bricks cut in time. It takes 6 to 8 weeks for the bricks to be made. That would mean the installation would be around mid-September. It was suggested that we go ahead and install blank bricks with the bot bricks, so it is done at once. People could still buy the blank bricks and they would be inscribed and installed the next year. Bricks are $50 for the small ones and $100 for the larger ones. Nancy Chorpenning motion to continue to sell bricks and make the cutoff date July 21st. Nicole Youngkin seconded it. Motion passed. There was also discussion that the bricks be collected up to a certain time and installed at the same time each year from this year forward. The bricks are going to be installed around the base of the flagpole. Donnie Crickfield said he would not help install the bricks, but he would help advise. He said that there are a couple of different ways we could go about installing the bricks. The main thing is that we would have to remove the topsoil, whichever way we decide to install. Nancy Chorpenning asked if he could give us an estimate to what it would cost. Donnie Crickfield said that it would depend on which way we just decided to install. The main cost would be the concrete, and Donnie Crickfield said that we may not need the concrete. It just depends on how hard the ground is, and we won't know that until we start digging. Another way to cut down costs would be to have volunteers help install the bricks. On Memorial Day, there will be a ceremony to fly the flag for the first time. Everyone is invited to join in the celebration and the public following the ceremony. Adam Youngkins mentioned flag regulations and to make it aware that if the flag were to be put up before 12 PM on Memorial Day, that it would need to be flown at half staff. Once it turns 12 PM on Memorial Day, it's to be flown at full staff. Adam Youngkins does have a copy of flag regulations if anyone does need to see them. Robin Farmer motioned that Jeff Chorpenning to buy a floodlight with a photo cell on it. Nancy Chorpenning seconded it. Motion passed. The light will be placed on the outside corner of the shelter house. Adam Youngkins asked who would be installing the light. Barb Weisman said she hoped that Adam Youngkins would. Adam said it wouldn't be a problem. Will Kern said he has extra wire and other items that he might need to do the job. Jeff Chorpenning wrote a grant and needed to know what the park committee wanted to put in it for the playground equipment. The committee discussed the pros and cons of the different playground items, which consisted of round monkey bars, animal springs, a climbing wall, and a hurricane spinner. Nancy Chorpenning motioned to put the hurricane spinner in the grant, and Cole Youngkins seconded it. Motion passed. Barb Weisman said that a guy came out to give an estimate for the floor for the community building. The guy said it would cost $8,950 to do everything and would be guaranteed for life. In order to do that, we would need a grant. The park committee discussed the sign that sits by the road outside the park. The current sign has dry rotted and will not hold the letters. There's a sign at Pam's Corner for $600, but it had a big crack on one side of it. Robin Farmer asked if there were rules for the sign. Does it have to be a certain size? Does it need to light up at night? Nancy Chorpenning informed the park committee that the rules for the signs had been changed, but she is unsure of the current rules. Nancy Chorpenning motioned the table replacing the sign until some of the other projects have been completed. Robin Farmer seconded it, motion passed. The National Road Yard Sale is coming up. It will be held May 30th through June 2nd. Nancy Chorpenning suggested that a table to be set up next to the flagpole so people could purchase bricks. However, volunteers would be needed. Barb Wiseman said she could set up a table at her yard sale. The recent wreck in Brownsville was discussed. Nancy Chorpenning mentioned that there had been talk about taking down the concrete barriers in front of the park. The committee members thought that it would be a bad idea to remove the barriers for the reason. Due to June being a busy month, the next park committee meeting will not be held until July 21st. Nancy Chorpenning motioned to adjourn the meeting at 7:40. Robin Farmer seconded it, motion passed.
I had no building rentals for this month except the free one. Got plenty for next month though. We had a real nice time yesterday putting up the flag. We had around 30 people and we had a potluck dinner. Somebody brought Kentucky Fried Chicken even.
Is there anything on the sign?
I wouldn't even advertise with
Did you guys advertise for that or anything? I didn't know
For
anything.
what?
For the raising of the
It was
flag.
in meeting minutes.
For the, you guys didn't, like, I haven't notified the public or anything, so it's gonna be.
If you don't come to me, you can go right.
Okay, I was curious, I didn't know about it. Very good, thank you. Move on to unfinished business, trash mandate. I don't have any further on that. Any further to drug testing? I looked into drug testing, did you have anything on it, Deb? Did you look into it,
I
man?
thought that was news,
I told him I'd take care of it. I talked to the Ohio Health Consortium about doing drug testing. I called them, I talked to a gentleman, his name was Larry Wills, and he said that Bowling Green Township has already set up in their system, has been since, I believe it was around 2000. He said that we've never used their services, we were just in their system, never used it. He said for us to set up with them, it would be an initial cost of $112 per person, which included the first year's dues. And then after that, it would be $38 per person for the dues, as long as it's that same person. Every time you get a new person, you have to pay the initial cost of $112 to start. And then $38 for the annual fee. It's random drug test. And then you see they have offices, closest ones to us would be the Newark or Zanesville. That's all I have on that.
Do you have details on that, or?
He didn't even know since I was in the bar, but no, I actually sent it to the mail. I don't think it might hold it. It was just if we wanted to go ahead and re-sign up information like that, it's paperwork.
That's very expensive.
It says $112 per person, $38 for the annual fee to do it.
And they don't check for steroids or anything like that.
I asked him, he said, I can't remember what exactly, gave me a list of what it was for. It probably says in that packet.
I know that we, well, it's already on the agenda, just like on there, but if you can share the details of that, I'd be interested in hearing the both procedure.
I can do that.
Did you have any, were there any other options you looked into besides that firm?
No, that's the one I called. There was another one that somebody brought up, it was, Frank. Frank Gates, I didn't call him.
I think we should compare it to both procedure. Are you gonna look at Frank Gates too, for that next meeting?
Yeah, I called him. No problem.
Ben, I hate to interrupt, but Is there a reason you're not using the speaker system? Because some of the people can't hear what's going on.
No other reason.
I've got it on, you just need to use it.
That's why I'm sitting this close.
It's working?
Bring my ears.
Driving record, anybody have anything on driving record? Anything on that? Okay, yeah.
So you
And my drivers together.
No, no roads.
Does, Mr. Bingo on Tuesday.
It's
And our
Is
Tuesday
it good? We have to do a public meeting.
No, but I just thought that would be the easiest because
It's all
everybody
right,
already.
just like
Well,
using
Just
that.
have to
most-
get it by somebody.
I thought we already moved to proceed to do that, we did.
Yes, we did. I just thought that does.
Inventory. Culvert.
Just got that one culvert up there in Dogwood.
I had a call from resident of culvert at Dogwood. It's a steel culvert. It's approximately 50 feet long. Approximately the first 15 feet of it are rotted out.
I think it's that way off the,
All the way to the end.
other bit, so.
But I think it goes under the road. So
Mhm.
I'd like to replace it before it gets any worse.
Go straight back.
Going to the full lane, go right down the bottom by the lake. If we're gonna do that, I'd like to do it before we do any kind of spot patch or anything like that, so we can do it in the spot patch or not, so it doesn't bust it up anymore. So,
Well, we can just saw it and then just get a little on it,
yeah,
roll her out.
definitely. Maybe put that in limbo for the summer, get it done.
I think the recent culvert was on there, Jenny's gonna be bringing the culvert policy that was existing.
Over policy.
That's why it remained on there, wasn't it?
I don't think there is an existing over policy.
I thought it was.
Just a culvert list, I think, culvert is.
I know that, Commander's got that, put one in, correct?
Well, I think there is, I don't know.
Is that correct, Barb? About culverts, they're permitted to put one in?
There's an application for it, and the front page gives you the rules.
All right, nothing else on that. Park rules? Anything on that? Okay. I received an email, I don't know, it got forwarded to me from somebody, I looked at it real quick, did you get this, Jeff? About the sign getting updated out front? Did you get it? I just got it today.
There's a front.
I just opened up and just skimmed through it real quick, I just got it today. And it's talked about in there about the rubber bumpers on the seesaw, the swings, and
Is
replacing.
that, is that what I forwarded to you from Travis Thompson?
Now we're John Parker discussed when you said.
Yep, then I forwarded.
So is that who it's from?
I don't remember, I don't know if it was from, I just opened up, looked at it. And then there's one
Forward that
other,
to me so I can see it.
what's that?
Could you forward it?
If it's the same one that I'm thinking of, I sent it to you also. Came from Travis Thompson, who was the guy that inspected the playground. And I said, okay, last week I think.
I don't really know everything from that, how they explain it, so. But it says something about the signage out there needs to be replaced, I know, so we can kind of do the bumpers and swings and the sign, I guess, at the same time. If committee wants to help out with that or whatever. Make sure everybody gets their info on that. Employee policy. Everything.
You want to implement that? Agreed.
As far as the, anybody,
Do we have a policy?
Well, the county, gone over this with you before, the county back in 2009 had a subcommittee group made up of elected officials and people. And they made recommendations based on the Ohio Township Association's guidelines. I left a copy down here. I do have a copy of the Ohio Township Association's full manual on it, which is what they derived it from.
what's it discussed, I guess, you know,
You haven't read it, any of them?
never mind, just kind of give me what's in there, what's it called.
This is the one by the OTA, so it's a rather inclusive manual. And that's what they, county based their draft off of.
Been on there for several months now, we haven't usually do anything with it. I make a motion to take it off the agenda, we haven't done anything with it for all 7 hours.
Roll call, Joe,
No.
Pam,
Yeah.
Ben,
Yes. Next thing we move on to is the map pal, stuff that Jeff wanted to talk about. You have on that, Jeff?
I've got a resolution prepared for it. Read it into the record. I had contacted the county in order to get the official route and termini. I followed up, but still don't have their official route and termini. But the man shouldn't be held up because of that. And when I read it, you'll see where I addressed that. This is ORC 5553.045, petition by Township trustees to vacate Township Road, title to pass to abutting landowners. Whereas landowner Matthew R. Powell has requested petition by Township trustees under ORC 5553.045 to abandon Red Maple Street, beginning at the north side intersection from Bowling Green Street to south side intersection of State Route 40. Route and termini to be provided by the Licking County engineer. With ownership of right-of-way to be returned to 15571 Main Street, I move the following. A, as used in this section, road means a road or portion of a road which is not used to calculate distributions of the auto registration distribution fund under Division E, Section 4501.04 of the revised code, and thus is not a road or portion of road certified by the Board of Township Trustees to the Director of Transportation in accordance with that division as mileage in the township used by and maintained for the public. B, a Board of Township Trustees may petition the Board of County Commissioners to vacate a township road or portion of a township road by passing a resolution that requires a vacation of the road or portion and includes a description of the general route and termini of the road or portion. The Township Fiscal Officer shall file a copy of the resolution with the Board of County Commissioners and certify another copy to the county engineer. Within 30 days after receipt of that copy of the resolution, the engineer shall issue to the Board or the County Commissioners a written report similar in content to reports required under Section 5553.06 of the revised code. Failure of the engineer to provide this report does not affect the actions required under this section, does not invalidate the vacation of a road or portion of a road under this section. C, upon receipt of the copy of the Township's resolution, the Board of County Commissioners shall set a date for a public hearing on the vacation of the road or portion of the road that is not more than 45 days after the date that the resolution is filed with the Board. The clerk of the Board, should say the fiscal officer of the Board, shall notify by regular mail the landowners abutting the road or portion of the road. Actually, that may still have to be clerk because it's probably the county doing that part. Notify by regular mail the landowners abutting the road or portion of the road proposed to be vacated. That notice shall be sent at least 20 days before the board's public hearing. Shall state that the road or portion of the road under this section and shall inform the landowners of the time and place of the public hearing on this issue. The notice shall be mailed to the addressees of the abutting landowners as they appear on the county auditor's current tax list or the county treasurer's mailing list. Failure to deliver this notice to the abutting landowners does not invalidate the vacation of a road or a portion of the road under this section. D, after the public hearing, if the Board of County Commissioners determines the vacation of the road or portion of the road would be for the public convenience or welfare, shall adopt a resolution by a majority vote declaring the road or portion of that to be vacated, and file a certified copy of the resolution with the petitioner, Board of Township Trustees, the county reporter, and the county engineer. If the Board of County Commissioners fails to vote on the issue of vacating the road or portion of the road within 60 days after the township's resolution is filed with it, the road or portion of the road specified in the resolution shall be deemed to be vacated. And the petitioner, Board of Township Trustees, shall adopt another resolution describing the road or portion of the road that has been vacated and explaining this vacation is by action of this section. The Board of Township Trustees shall file a certified copy of that resolution with the Board of County Commissioners, the county reporter, and the county engineer. E, once these certified copies of the resolution declaring a road or portion of the road vacated are filed as provided in Division D of this section, the Board of Township Trustees by resolution shall order the road or portion of the road vacated. Vacated road or portion of the road shall pass in fee to the abutting landowners, subject to all the following. 1, a permanent easement as provided in section 5553.043 of the revised code in, over, or under the road for service facilities as defined in section 5553.042 of the revised code of the public utility. The electric cooperative as defined in section 4928.01 of the revised code. 2, the right of ingress and egress to service and maintain those service facilities. 3, the right to trim or remove any trees, shrubs, brush, or the obstacles growing in or encroaching onto the permanent easement that may affect operation, use, or access to those services facilities. The effective date of that part of ORC was June 10, 2004. This time I move to proceed with this resolution.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second, so we'll discuss it. We'll open up the discussion. Did you write that up yourself, Jeff?
Straight out of ORC.
Did you write that up yourself? Others happen to decide what was in the ORC or not?
It's exactly what's in ORC. Like I stated earlier, the route termini, I don't have that other than the description that I read in there. And it's pretty clear what that is, but the engineer's gonna have to detail it exactly before it goes before the commissioners. Mr. Fowler, to all of us.
Can I get a copy of that, please?
This is the only one I got.
Can you make me a copy and scan it? You know, or something?
Do you want to, the man doesn't need to wait another month.
Well, I'd like a copy of it. I mean,
You can read it.
kind of blindsided. I haven't got looking at it for tonight or hear about it for tonight,
You
so.
can have that copy there.
Okay. I also talked to a landowner that is just north of there, Danielle and Bo. Don't remember their last name. She had contacted me and asked me about, the alley used to run all the way straight through, behind their house. Had asked me about also vacating that. I had got her a copy of this online. I believe it's the same one that I copied and gave to her. And I told her maybe it would benefit her to talk to Matt and see if they could get it closed all the way through, from 40 all the way to North Street up there. The east one behind this house up there. It's not,
Back here.
Yeah.
it's grass now, there's no actual alley there, but it's still paved as an alley. She wanted to have that closed, I guess, for, I don't know, I don't know. I mean, she just didn't want any traffic ever be through there or anything like that, so I told her it might benefit her to coordinate with Matt to do that, so. I don't know where she went, from there, after I talked to her.
So you are familiar with that road?
Yeah.
You're provided a term.
I looked at it. Let's see this.
Roll call, Jeff.
To accept the motion as read into the record. Brett?
Yes.
Yes.
Dan?
Yeah.
Ben?
No.
county. I'm sorry, fiscal officer, the code book still public work, but it's the same thing. You want us to sign that? Just put no where you voted no.
She's already coming.
Make sure we all, at least two of you sign it, that you're in favor.
So she said yes.
Is that all you have on that? Road work?
Could you let us know when they set the date? Because I know the commissioners will be needing to have their hearings.
They'll probably notify everybody.
Also,
You guys draw up anything.
I've looked over, tried to figure out how we can save some money and, I guess stretch our money the most we can.
Now, this is what I come up with. Okay, that's what you think. I just,
didn't we already decide on what we were going to do?
well, we can't do them.
Other than the spot patch stuff, I thought we had already pretty much decided this road.
No, we just talked about it, we tabled it, and then finally said that.
It was, the discussion had taken us to the bank and not vote for Cooperator. I don't see Cooperator on.
How are you gonna be able to do all of them, operator?
So you added something else on here?
No,
Put Shelley on there.
it's probably, this
Oh,
here,
okay, that's not Shelley.
It's supposed to be more of the south and more of
has the oil for Shelley Company and the
Oh, I see,
oil for,
yep,
they're small, so I wrote them all down, what I thought. You see what I mean, down there, Ben?
yeah.
And say we're small, we get,
We had already decided to do north and south and not Oakland.
yeah,
So you basically took the Cooperator off and added this spot patch back?
yeah, but, because we need that spot patch.
We've had like 10,000 left to put in the spot patch.
I looked at, thought about it, I don't know, I don't agree with it, I don't want to go out and put any chip and seal down or anything that's busted out or saw or anything like that, because it's just gonna.
Yeah,
bust
we're
out
just
again
wasting
right
the
now.
time.
Well, the problem is on the 2011 day, I'd ask you, you don't even know how far that's going to go. So we don't know.
It don't go very far.
I looked back on that too, and in the records it showed, for whatever reason, there was almost a bid on that. They didn't do it last year. Is there any kind of contract,
The
on the
weather,
deadline, how long they have to get the work done?
the weather was bad, had a lot of rain last year.
They just couldn't meet conflicting schedules where it was last year with that and us. I knew the weather started getting bad, and we just wanted to give that till next year.
But they haven't scheduled that work or talked about it at all.
Not yet. They're gonna do it right away.
Usually we wait till towards the fall time to do doing this kind of work. I like to see it done a little bit earlier in the summer, if we could.
Well, we tried to get it done earlier.
The earliest we can, that would be time to cure and back down a little bit, and we don't top right off. See, look about taking the Cooperator off, leaving Rankin, now they're going north and south.
Yeah. And see if we would put them in for next year. See if we do a lot of spot patching and next year, maybe we can just get by with just chip and seal.
And not spot patch.
Yeah. Seems we just have to see what it's like.
They're about $24 a ton cheaper. Smalls was than Shelley. Per ton for spot patch.
I think if you're gonna go down that road and want all that spot patching, we need to rebid this, bid it separately. Ask if these are roads you want, that's fine. I still think the Cooper should be bid. But I think that the spot work needs to be bid as a separate thing. Because Shelley Company's clearly the best deal on the road itself, no matter how you break it out. This saves our money the best. Make those two separate projects.
Would the price be the same though?
That's why I say we bid it
Different
out.
prices, is we get like 16 ton more of smalls, and the same amount of money.
Right. The same
What
dollar.
do you mean 16 ton more? They bid it out for
I know.
the same.
Yep, per unit, but they're cheaper per ton. They're $86.31 a ton.
That isn't unit.
Yeah. Well, unit price per ton. But see, we can get 266 ton for that price. Because all that, this is how much I figured up what we can spend to come up with $150,000.
They're $73,295.
Yeah. And this is last year's.
That's why I think we should bid it separately, because there's a huge, Shelley Company by far is our best. On the spot patching, figure out the tonnage you want and test it out and
They
bid
won't
that.
do the amount of roads for the same price.
Right, they're not going to just do one
No,
for that
no.
price, if they have to do one.
Yeah.
it's gonna be one.
But we'd find all that out, wouldn't we, if we asked for rebid?
I don't see how you could after they've already seen each other's bid and stuff.
It's a little bit different. We're asking on these specific roads and for a specific amount of spot patch. Ask for a bid for just the roads, ask for a bid for just the spot patch, ask for a bid for both together. They both have the opportunity to equally. They already know, both of them already know these figures.
We keep it up, it'll summer be over.
Could be, the best expenditure for our taxpayers' money here. There's nothing stopping them from doing the 2011 work apparently. Put that down. I have a better deal on that, on how much,
You see what I've done?
spot patch you might need.
So you're taking these up here and adding all them together, and
Yep.
taking, seeing what we have left, we make 73,000.
Mhm.
So if these all get done,
Yep,
right, so these are gonna get done either way.
Yep.
And then these are gonna get,
everything gets done, no matter,
well, we throw the rest of the money in, and whichever company's gonna give us more spot patch.
Yep. see, it's pretty much the same, cut and drive it both ways.
You understand that, Jeff?
I understand clearly.
So I mean, these roads, just say these roads get done, you know, hands down, just say they're getting done, whoever does it. And then we have,
Talking about 2011,
no, this is the
It's yours.
because you have both on.
I know, we're not talking,
Total price.
just say right in the Mount Hope, you know, north and south. And then one of them was 48, 158, and the other was 5308. So then whatever it takes to make it up to 73,295 is what we have left over. I don't know if I can figure that out, but, roughly 25,000 for that one and 23,000 for that one. So then, for that amount of money, we're actually benefiting more to go with smalls because they're actually going to give us
yeah,
more cold mix or more spot patch for less money. I mean, pretty much what it boils down to. They might be a little bit higher in the actual
Chip and
chip and
seal.
seal, but we're gonna spend $73,295 regardless. We're actually getting more product out of small ones. Is that, am I looking at that right?
Mhm.
When this was tabled, the Brighter Road was still part of this, now it's just disappeared. We added more tonnage.
Well, we need to put spot patching on the Brighter Road.
Like, what you're thinking about the far end up there where it's gravel? Yeah, is that what you're thinking of?
Well, they paid it out. It was
Well, is that,
out where we were-
right, is that what you're thinking of up there where it's kind of rough at the end?
Yeah.
If we go through there and we put chip and seal on that, I mean, it wouldn't last till December, and it would be busted up.
That's why I kept asking about 2011, how far that's, I don't even know what was spent out for the spot work in 2011.
For the spot patch.
Yeah, that's part of that work.
Right, yeah, they've already bid 400 ton, but they come in and take them out and say, we want this done here, this done here, this done, until the 400 ton runs out.
Right, and that would be on the roads that are gonna be done, which could Brighter Road at that point in time.
No, this is last year's road.
Right, that 400 ton is gonna have to go on the last year's roads first, before, here's last year.
And what will carry over, we'll put on these roads, but it's gonna take that other 200.
Like last year, we've already said we're gonna do, 2011, we're gonna do like part of Mac Road. Well, the stuff that's busted up, we're gonna have to, spot pack, and then go over with chip and seal. 'Cause it's busted up, and it's chip and seal, or it's gonna bust up again.
That should already be in 2011.
That's right. So that spot patch on that 400 ton spot patch is pretty much gone under the chip and seal that we're gonna put down on the very top of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, if you don't, I'll try to explain to you, but,
I hear you.
you know, whether we'll have, you know, some left over out last year, we might, and we might run short too. You know, we don't know until we go to putting it down. I see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, you know, how the Shelley was a little bit smaller on that price, or a little bit cheaper on that price, but then when it comes down to it, we're actually getting more product, we're getting another 16.33 tons for the same dollar. The
So
same
we're not
dollar.
wasting any money.
We're spending $73,295.
Spend it, if you go with Shelley, you're spending more money on every single road for the road work itself.
Correct. Right. But then,
And you are eliminating one of the roads that we've already agreed on.
well, either company, he's got to put it down where
It wasn't when we had a table.
we just talked, discussed it.
We just gotta
We
discuss.
don't have the money to do that. What was that road to do?
Yeah, Pip Rider Road is,
We had it worked out, we had like 10,000.
You know, you want to put, yeah, because you want to put $10,000 down on spot patch, which you want.
that's what we do now.
Well, no, I think we should bid 7, like I already said. I think we should really.
See, Pip Rider Road's almost $12,648. Well, like they're 10,000, 100 ton of asphalt don't go for it. And they don't start patching roads.
Mountain Oaks hands down, has to be done.
Yeah.
I want that done 100%. Rankin Road, if we do that, that's gonna finish it up, it'll be office lane.
Yeah.
Be done for a while, a long time. You understand what I'm saying? The same amount of money we're getting.
Yeah, I know, we're spending the same,
Right.
well, we're getting 16, a little over 16 ton more
More.
with smalls,
Right.
with the shell,
Right.
for the same amount of dollars.
Right. Same roads getting done, and we're getting a little bit extra.
I'll make a motion to accept smalls.
discussion on it. As we're trying to discuss, yes, any other further discussion on it?
When I moved the motion, I detailed what rows and everything, I would suggest or request to do the same thing.
Motion, amended motion.
You know, then motion, do all amount vote. Finish up ranking on the chip and seal. And, be what, 200?
Then whatever money we have left over.
Yeah, be on chips, pop that.
Help them total is $73 down to $209.26. Any other discussion? Yeah, any discussion on it?
Do roll call, Joe,
No.
Pam,
Yeah.
Ben,
Yes.
are you going to call? Does somebody want to follow up on this, that letter we got about the oath in office? We should follow up on that.
Is
Follow
there
up.
a person to follow up with?
They want read it, I mean.
So we would like, many residents of William Township would like to know the oath the trustees have taken. We would like it read aloud for the record at a township meeting. Thanks, concerned citizen.
Well, that oath isn't very long, I'm sure we can get it.
Can we do that? Can we
You
do
want
that?
a copy? I'll bring it to the next meeting.
We'll take it with it, see what we get.
Oh, no.
All right, on to new business. I don't know anything that we really discuss better than roads can get done.
Can I ask a question? Are we allowed to do that yet?
Have
I don't want you to quit.
Does that pertain to new business?
It's new business.
Okay, good.
This has been brought to attention of a couple of the trustees before, but not by me, so they asked me if I would bring it up. On Hon Hills Road is a Bowling Green Township road, correct?
Correct.
Part of it.
Okay.
Part of
Huh?
Part of
The beginning part is off of 40.
Yes.
Okay, get down Hon Hills Road, and there's the corner. Creek is there, the corner.
Will they always dump trash down?
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah. That might make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, that's right. That guardrail is always being hit,
Okay.
and it's falling in. Okay, it's, instead of like this, they're sitting like this toward, and people hit it all the time.
Toward the road?
It needs those signs that say, like on Route 40, although we're not Bowling Green on 40, I know
You
that.
want like the arrow
But
signs and stuff?
those signs that say, you know, go around instead of into.
So if you go up, if you go off of 40 on the hills, you come to that corner, the guardrail's on the left.
It would be on the east side,
Yes.
yes, that guardrail.
That's probably people come down in the winter time. Just can't hit.
And they hit it.
Right.
The buses hit it, everybody.
Everything's there, huh?
But they don't, the people that have never been down that road don't know there's a corner there. So if we could get some arrow signs, at least saying curve, something, and then fix that guardrail.
What do you guys think?
It wouldn't hold a car, I don't think now.
Yes, we need to get it done, and
What do you guys think about
we'll
that?
do it on the
No, probably.
Need a motion for that?
We should have a motion for us to sign. We'll look into it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guess we have to do it. Okay. On the public comment. Public comment.
I have a question and a comment. First of all, what's our total road budget
Total budget for the year.
for the year for our taking care of roads?
Roads, the actual roads. This year we got, what's that number?
This year we have 150,000 because we carried over last year's amount of money.
Last year.
Okay, so what would we normally have?
It's
Just
around 70, 75, sometimes 80.
Okay,
Here we had 76,704 last year.
that's all, I just was curious what it was.
No, it's somewhere about that.
So my comment is, don't why in the world do we have 2 employees who have retired and are drawing retirement money from the township, coming back to work for the township?
Okay.
They're double dipping, and a lot of people, I've heard a lot of comments that people are upset about that. When we have other people in the township who could use the jobs that are not getting retirement money from the township.
We've had other people that were older, of age to collect retirement and work for us, so.
But they weren't collecting taxpayers' money from the township,
It doesn't matter where they're collecting.
and they're now collecting,
Check, they're doing work, it's not that they're collecting for doing nothing.
it was just
Right.
a comment.
Sure.
It's-
You don't have to, already know what they're doing.
Any other public comment?
I want to know what's being done about the Adams house.
You guys heard anything on that? Haven't heard anything on that. Barb, do you know anything? You know anything about that?
You need to file a nuisance ruling with the prosecuting attorney.
Have you heard anything?
They were supposed to purchase a home, and they were supposed to, okay?
Have they purchased the house, Brett? You know?
That's what they say.
Or-
Well, the case was settled in January. Evidently, they've gotten their money now. And the rumor is that Stephanie Adams has told her friend that they purchased a house in Thornville, and they have to wait, give the other people or whatever to move out 30 days. And the house was supposed to come down when it was settled. He stood in my living room and said that as soon as the case was settled, the house was coming down. The house is still standing, it's a nuisance, it's a health hazard, it's a road hazard. And if you need somebody to make a nuisance complaint, I'm here to tell you, I'm making a nuisance complaint. Which I thought I had already done.
We'll look into it. I'll just stop out there and talk to Mr. Adams and see what he wants to offer to make. I can't tell you how well that's gonna go. I'll stop and see. Anybody else?
Just want to make a comment about the road bids. I'm really confused, and I really don't understand how come, as trustees, you let a contract last year, early last year, and you have no provisions in there for when, timeframe when it's supposed to be done. One of the reasons I bring that up is because Licking Township actually knocked Smalls Brothers out of a board because they failed to put a time frame down. Because they wanted it done in a
It's not
certain time
really-
frame.
I don't think, it's not really that they failed or we failed, it was just kind of conflicting
The
schedules.
weather last
No,
year.
my point is, when you write a contract
Right.
for work to be done, especially roads, which are somewhat important to our township,
Sure.
that you have a certain time frame. It wasn't as if they didn't have, how many months to complete that work after the contract was let?
Well, they're not in winter time.
The reason I'm pointing that out is because now you've commingled last year's work with this year's work, which makes it kind of hard, which I'm kind of amazed that Smalls actually, and they didn't really come out and say it. You don't have anything in writing from them saying that they're going to hold that bid for a year, did you? I mean, there should be a stipulation in that contract that says, hey, the work is supposed to be done within a certain amount of time. After that, the contract's either void or you owe us a penalty. That's what most people do when they write a contract, that, hey, if you don't get this work done by such and such a time, either the contract's void or you suffer a penalty for not getting it done. That's the first thing.
What we had done on our end if we weren't ready for them.
Well, nobody said you weren't ready for them, were you?
No, what?
But those are the kind of things
like-
that you have to stipulate in the contract, okay? I'm just telling you.
Right.
And Smalls got knocked out last year, at Licking, I think it was last year or the year before. Licking Township knocked them out just because of that, because Shelley put the time frame in there, because they asked for a time frame. Shelley met the requirement, they didn't. They knocked them out. They weren't real happy about it, but
I don't see.
I think any contract that you let for work for the township should have, something like this is fairly important, should have a stipulation, because now what it did, it created all kind of confusion this year as to, well, what are we doing now? And the other thing I don't understand is how do you go in knowing that you really can only spend 70 or 80,000 when the engineer right up front told you it was going to be 130,000?
That was his
What was the
estimate.
point?
That was his estimate.
113.
That was
It was
the
over 100, so you knew you weren't going to be able to do that.
Right.
what was the point of that? Why don't you ask the engineer, hey, this is how much money we got, this is what we'd like to do? Because you just made it more confusing by how it was done. If you knew you were only gonna spend so much money, tell the engineer, that's how much money we got, this is what we'd like to do, and have him come up with an estimate. He can,
You know, when you get an estimate, if you go up, if you go down.
well, I know, but I'm just saying, you knew right off the bat, with what you got in the engineer, there's no sense even throwing that out to the world.
Sure.
Because you knew that was gonna screw things
We don't know
up.
what you're gonna bid until we open them up that night.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
You already knew up front that you were way off, so, anyway, it just, to me, just got so confused because of how it was done. I'm just saying it could be done a lot easier by being a little bit more proactive, putting something in the contract to hold them to something, and maybe get a little bit better estimate up front, and not try to commingle one year to the next year and screw it all up. Besides that, Cooper Ryder Road several years ago, Dan said didn't have the money to finish chip and sealing it for my property back. That's been several years ago. And gee, we seem to have money, but we don't seem to have money for the rest of the chip and seal on the end of Cooper Ryder for some reason. I don't know why, but could be personality, I don't know. The other question I had is table. What was the logic and who made the decision of moving the table? 'Cause
I made the decision to put the table this way. I want to set this way, and this house would be being held.
logic was,
Two things. We're here.
because it's harder for me to, you know.
We're here as a trustee meeting. The trustees are here to discuss business, and I like to look at people in the face when we discuss stuff. I don't like to sit in a line where I have to look in the side of somebody's head. Okay? So now I can
Okay.
look at these gentlemen in the face, and we can discuss them.
Okay, that,
Okay?
If you're gonna do that, how are you gonna make accommodations for people that are trying to videotape to hear all the business and see all the business?
We did volume over here. They can get the table. They can hear it. When you just said audio here, they can hear every word we just said.
Or see, same thing.
Not really. Well, they
Because
don't- half of it.
my particular camera doesn't have the same kind of lens to pick up even the other way with everyone unless it's way in the corner of where you got your tape there.
So what do you suggest? Remove the box?
Provide a means for the public to be able to see all the business at the tape by every official, that's all.
We can see. Yeah, we can see fine.
We can see you, we just have to read lips.
Talking about the camera, not the people.
Well, I mean, I still think they're getting everybody in the frame, right? I mean,
no, I can't, not even with my wide angle, I can't.
you can't.
I can get from here to here, but I can't get Jeff all the way in.
Well, this ain't no wide. Even that table was long. It's single table.
The fact of the matter is I can't on the camera. So that's-
He doesn't even have a wide angle. I got it on my box.
I just
Any other public comment from anybody?
can't hear over that.
There really should be a decision by the board, not just saying and doing.
May 2nd, I sent Jenny my application. I don't know whether or not you received it or not, but
Yes, I
there
can
it
pass
is.
it along.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the trustees.
Anybody else? I'll make a motion that we pay bills.
I'll second it.
Ben, these are comprehensive training books that two of our members will just need them.
We'll just have to hold on.
They accomplish and yeah, they said they had an answer to the and you're welcome to take them on, but this is what we've done so far. Yeah, so you can't put it in the schools.
I'll say it.
Yeah, 300.
Just tell them that, you know, those guys come back with us.
$245.13 advertising.
Does anybody, I just have this, hang on, did we purchase any sawdust? I received a bill.
Well, we didn't purchase it. It should have been billed.
Well, and it's not even ours, it's Jay's towing.
Yes. That's different. We get nothing more.
It came to us. I didn't pay it, because it wasn't in our name, so I thought I'd go to you guys and see.
Number 21, rule dash 2012, postage for rest of 2012, $200.
Did you donate the wire or stuff for the box?
I never heard from anybody I was going to because I have plenty of this stuff. You must have had another.
2012, $3,107.
I was going to.
Medical
For
hospitalization.
the, well, for the light.
Oh, Jeff did.
Check number 3988, MNCO advertising, $93.65. $3973, 12364, Bluefield Oil Company. Transit Ball, 3982, 961.
Try to figure out how to finish my renewal for my license. I have
Chorpenning, 393, $660.08.
I meant to call them today and ask them how much.
Ohio Public Entity Consortium, number 3987, $3,000.02. Jack Richard Hedges, 3985, $939.79. Bob W. Watkins, 986, $947.91. 3990, Dutro Auto Parts, $452.65. $3989, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, $3,712.96. $3979, Smalls Asphalt Paving, Old Mix, $199.20. $3977, MNCO, $167.20. Oh, one again.
What is that?
I don't know.
What is MNCO?
MNCO is, it's called one of that, okay?
It's a paper?
Yeah, it's MNCO.
It's the newspaper, it's North Advocate, they conglomerated all the local
I
newspapers.
just wondered, I didn't know what
One
it stood
building.
for.
3974, Pleasant Valley Limestone, $289.46. $3975, Hydro Supply Company, $124.79 supplies. What did we get there?
Those is from back there.
3976, Lowe's Companies, $147.56 supplies. And the last one was 3978, U.S. Postmaster, $45.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Didn't you say that we had to do about the post office?
They moved it to Great Shop.